Yo. Oh, hey, what timing? Wow, I pushed the go live thing and then Andremia pops up. How you doing, homie? Let me turn this noise down. I was just walking in the door too. Sorry if I crowded you on your way in. How was your stream? Young slime on the beat. Great handle. Respect the gazelle. Thank you so much, Paul. 32-month streak, Paul. Holy cow. Good to hear the stream was good. Kate Kashi just described what we're listening to as robotic birds stuck in a big wet cavern while some random person butchers the art of the didgeridoo. What do you think? Kate Kashi, welcome in. Liv is here. Cardio Party in the chat. Give her a follow. Saf, welcome in. How are you? Friday was a flop. Oh, man. Did not get to attend the resident show. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that randomly you somehow meet someone, perhaps just on the street or in a dark alley or a brightly lit coffee shop that has, like, a full video of the performance or something. Yeah, it sucks, man. I'm sorry. How goes it today? It goes well, Paul. It goes all right. Week is off to yet another super busy start. Got the final countdown to AM and NAB. Young Slime, we can do a little bit of feedback today. I'm also going to be making some cartoon sounds, so I hope you guys come prepared for inspiring me to make fun, goofy sounds. I don't know what kind of sounds these might be, but I was thinking some kind of human sounds might be good. Like, it might be fun just to get a little embarrassing and make some fart sounds and some hiccup sounds and some burping sounds and slap sounds, stuff like that. Maybe play a little bit more with xylophone. I don't know. We've got a bunch of stuff. I need to kind of round out some of this stuff. I bounced 450 sounds from the first go around, but I do want to kind of round this out with some stuff. So you guys be thinking about what kind of fun cartoon sounds you should make. Kate Kashi says, well, my inspiration for music composition might be in an ebb right now. It's good to know my sardonic descriptions for music are always around, right? Yeah, your humor never fails us, homie. Oh! Young slime on the beat. Dude, how did you cut your finger? Ugh. Nothing really big, but yeah. Is it a performance finger? Like, is it a finger that you're using constantly for stuff all the time? Or is it like a pinky or what? Keikashi sliding in with the big questions. What are humans? Loud, bald apes, says Paul. It's sunny in Maryland, says Paul. It is cold and wet and snowy here in Portland. Oh, cutting finger while cutting bread, and it was your thumb. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear it. Ugh. Well, what in the world should we make? What in the world should we make? How about we start by listening through some of the sounds that have already been made, and then trying to figure out exactly what to make from there. I think I'm going to leave my multimeter on here. Oh man, yeah. At least it's a non-dominant hand, right? Oh, Saf, you could not be more correct. Absolutely. It's important. It's so important to stay in touch with the basics. Start with the basics. Most every time. It will usually lead to success. That's actually downright musical, isn't it? Let's roll through those bottle tops again. Those are actually kind of fun. It's fun. Maybe a couple more castanets. Ooh, some combs. Oh, I should have brought in a comb, huh? I don't think I did. Fail. All right, well, I'll grab some comb later. You know what we need to do? We need to do a field trip together to the dollar store or a Goodwill or something. And just fill up a basket with random things. And then drive home as quickly and safely as we can. Record said objects and then flip them into magical creations. Oh, downright magical. Oh, here's some mouth stuff. All right, so I got a fair bit of mouth stuff, but I think we could do more. I think we'd probably do like some, what'd I say? Burp, hiccup, fart, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I look over at the chat and realize sometimes I say things, they just kind of fall out of my mouth. With quotes like this. Got a fair bit of mouth stuff. um, Live, post it. Absolutely. What am I missing here? I'm going through the chat backwards and I'm reading all of these things backwards. Indremia, maybe you should make like stickers, like how to use stickers that you can place on things. It'd be really helpful. When cutting bread, cut the bread, not the finger. Right. Kakashi says, it's kind of funny how zoos use things from the natural environment to keep animals entertained while captive, but the zoo itself is sort of like one big captive environment for humans using animals from nature to keep them entertained. Oh. Rockhound. How you doing? Hey, Nate's here. Nate says, Chris, when we asked you to spit bar if you wanted to spit bars, that's not what we meant. Also, hey. Hey, brother, how are you feeling today? How are things? Feedback? You do feedback? Hey, Indremia, if you've got more new style, we will make time for feedback for that. We're on a mission right now. Young Slime is back. It looks like we've got 3 people that want some feedback right now. I'm going to listen to a couple more pops and ratchets and stuff, and then maybe I'll start back up here with the party favors because they're super fun. Get myself back into the frame of mind. Oh yeah, and then I played with wood blocks for a really long time. Telemetry sounds with wood blocks. All right, well, that was fun. Zameritz is here. Love Roger Rabbit. Reminds me of this. Nice. Kakashi. This is like me typing out feedback for people as I'm listening to stuff. I'm noticing there's not many fabricy sounds. Oh, never mind. Right before the Velcro. You're right, though. We probably could have a bit more like textile type sounds in here. What is the clicky clank from? A ratchet. A ratchet. There's a few different types of ratchets. There's also a party favor ratchet, like the kind where you like hold on to the little handle and you spin like this and the little thing goes around. One of those. Oh, Nate. Oh man. Yeah, I think we probably could, right? Like Heinbach, I don't think there's anything in the video that we couldn't view on here. Let's check it. Let's check it. Okay, so yeah. Stop showing me stuff. All right, there. So Rockhound sent me this thing. It's so great. It's so great. Heinbach is amazing. If you're not familiar with Heinbach,
Hi,
he's
I'm
incredible.
Heinbach, and it's good to have you back.
Hi, Heinbach.
Of all the wondrous things that I have here in my studio, this is the instrument that draws the most attention. It's the Axle Line Simulator.
This is so good. I'm gonna geek out with you guys and watch this whole freaking
It looks
thing.
rather disco for a piece of test equipment, where the usual colors are muted: dark gray, light gray, or dark green. This shines in Battlestar Galactica gold. But what
Yes.
is a line simulator? Since this comes from pre-internet age, I'm guessing the 70s to early 80s, there's not a lot of information about this particular unit out there or the company that made it. I could only find one quote from
Probably
an
espionage
archived
business?
auction from 2008
Same.
on Matrix Synth. The 77A telephone line simulator can simulate the worst case amplitude and envelope delay characteristics of transmission lines,
Tell us
and
more.
can generate a number of random transmission line effects, which are especially important to digital data transmission. You
Yes,
put
but
a
what can you
message
do
in
with it?
and then mess with it. And since you've got these live buttons, you can do it even in a playful way, which of course is perfect when you use this for music. It can be many things: an overdrive, a lo-fi processor,
Oh, it's just so good. Just wait. It just keeps getting better and better and better. I know, right, Nate? I want one. If I could somehow get my hands on one of these, I'd let you guys use it. Iron Imp, I was hoping you'd be here for this.
a spaced out modulator.
Should pop anyone? Yeah, Kate Kashi, it's like that and so much more. It's all these extremes. It's so great.
It can even become an
Great.
instrument in its own right when you patch it in a certain way.
Oh yeah. This is gorgeous, right? Oh, that little tickle. But it's also like so warm and purry. This is like me when I was younger on stuff that I didn't know what it was for. My guitarist friends were like, dude, check out this pedal. And I'm like, I don't know what this
Let me
is,
show
but look
you
at
how.
this.
And maybe you can replicate that functionality in VCV Rack, your modular, or a max patch. The basic building blocks are an impulse noise generator, then you've got a random noise generator. Turn it a bit down. Then you have a jitter frequency you can set, but this will only be audible if there's a signal present. Here are push buttons for phase, amplitude, and dropouts. And here we've got the most interesting part: a frequency shifter upwards and downwards, and a distortion, as well as a bandpass filter. And when you patch an output back into an input, you get crazy things. Let's see what we can do with just an impulse.
Look, Mom, no modular rig. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's all the right things. Yeah, I was Cinema Kid. Welcome in. Seriously, like if the apocalypse hit and we couldn't use our computers anymore, like I'd be so on the hunt for something like this. You know what I mean? By the way, that's probably what I would do. If the apocalypse hit, I'd probably just find a bunch of toys and play. Oh, this is so good. This is just so good. So good. Another world, welcome in.
This always happens when I use the telephone line simulator. I get sucked into it. Due to the feedback patching, you can create all these little rhythms and birdsong and wonderful noises that all sound very gentle in the end, because this has an output limiter. And that's perfect for feedback patching, because else with feedback patching you are very prone to getting ear-piercing noise shouting back at you. The limiter keeps everything under control. The combination of all the tools that are bundled here, like a Swiss Army knife, makes it a wonderful sound design instrument. I've used it extensively in my game scoring work for that, and the sound designers were great fans of the sounds that came from this one. I've also made a bank for it for my plugin noises that I made with AudioThing.
He has made a lot of really cool stuff for all of that. Let's listen to what Young Slime has cooked up, provide a little feedback. We'll listen to what Liv has cooked up, provide a little feedback. Who else was... Oh, Edremia had something. And then we're going to make some cartoon sounds. Or just get downright silly and make some farting and hiccuping or whatever other things might end up in a funny cartoon. Yo, Danny's here. I'm Imagine It. Welcome in. Rule 1. as captain by Chris. Don't be a savage. Rule 2, throw a limiter on your master. Quoted. Another world. We're imagining what would happen if the apocalypse happened and what everyone would do, right? I would go ransack some places and find some really awesome old school gear like this, because we probably wouldn't be able to use our computers and stuff anymore. So I was just kind of joking around, like, hey, y'all go look for the guns or whatever. I'm gonna go look for the stuff that sounds awesome, and you're invited to come play. Just don't come blow me up. Oh man. Um. Hey, let's do the yeah, right, complete with legit spy recordings. Look, if I was to travel back in time and like play around with these cats that were making all these things, yeah, sure, I would dip my toes into the espionage waters if I had to, if it mean gaining access to these things. I mean, what's wrong with encoding some secret messages in like some early electronic music? There's nothing wrong with it. I jest. All right. Where am I going? Discord? Is that what I'm doing here? Feedback. Oh my gosh. More and more and more. Neon butterflies. That's what this one is called. And it is from Nebula. There's also Young Slime in the chat. Let's do this. Yo, Nate, take care, homie. Big love, homie. Ron Mercy, welcome in.
Tryna see what we on. Told the bitch put the B on. Kick down, got the flea on. I got these hoes on beat on. Got it done with the neon. Everything on neon. This shit rockin' on neon. This shit went on neon. Run it out like neon. Super take, eat kilo. I'm sweating so neon. Big bag on the peon.
Okay, Young Slime, this is pretty good. I like the understated 808 in the first mix. It's cool. I think maybe just a little bit more warmth from it, and I think you could achieve it just by slightly rolling off some of the highs and then saturate it just slightly. And then I think you're kind of in that chef's kiss zone. And I think the sub cutoff down there can be brought all the way up to about 45 hertz. You don't need as much of the really low frequencies sustained for as long. So I would just bring up the hertz cutoff and don't mess with the decay, and I think everything would be fine. Just keep it a really gentle octave per dB curve. The second mix is much warmer and definitely gives much more of a lush vibe. There are a couple things though, like I personally, with that kind of a vibe, I would layer in some kind of Foley, maybe with the hat, maybe even a little bit of like a support element that was kind of shaker Foley-ish behind that hat. Just because when you get the thickness up on so many other elements, the percussive elements can end up feeling a little anemic or thin in the mix, and so when you start to stack upon that, it starts to fill out a little bit more, right, and be kind of a bit more in line with that aesthetic. So, much like in an image, if you kind of blur the background a little bit, it'll help the focal point of the image pop, right? So if there's writing over the top of an image, you might blur the background just a little bit. So I would wash the strings out just a little bit, maybe with some reverb, so you can kind of change that proximity relationship with the vocals, because the vocals are so highly processed, and you want them to kind of remain dominant and clear over the backdrop elements. Little mid-range EQ accent on the vocals too will also help it stay up on top of those strings. The hi-hats could use a subtle sample delay around 100 milliseconds-ish, and this is one of those things that you hear in a mix and you're like, ooh, I like that, but you don't necessarily understand how it was accomplished. There is here, let's just put a single sound in here really quick. What do we got? We got about this, a whack. Cool. I'm going to take this whack and I'm going to put it in here. All right. And we're going to loop around it and solo it. And I'm going to put a sample delay on this. I'm going to keep it where it is in the middle. And then I'm going to use a sample delay to give it the space and the stereo position. So I'm going to change this. Well, it could be in samples or milliseconds. It doesn't really matter. But I would keep it really low. I think I even said like 100 milliseconds. I'd actually do this. You just leave the left and right channels unlinked. So this is going to delay the left channel, which means it's going to sound like we've panned it to the right, and it's going to double this signal because it's going to send through a delayed signal on the left channel. Now, if you were to put another sound in there with that, just imagine the width and the stereo positioning that you can do with that is pretty awesome. So just a couple things that you can kind of apply right now. I'll make it even better. Yeah, if there's a Patreon channel that you're going to support, Heinbach is a pretty good one. Absolutely. All right. Liv has brought something by. Cardio Party in the chat. Okay, she says, no limiter or anything on this one, so might be a bit quiet. I'm in that last 5% of production, and usually this is where I do polish and fancy stuff, as well as prep the song for Anthony. I think the mix in the first 45 seconds or so is a bit off, but I'm having trouble determining how to address it. It's even a real thing. Also, I think second pre-chorus needs some decoration, open to any and everything. Or that feeling you know you need to finish your nails proper, but are worried the coats are so far met, and at that point, maybe the top coat isn't worth it, but you're going out with your nails one way or the other, so they might as well look nice, and infinitely regressive arguments. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, this one's called Burnin'.
I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now to define my thoughts. I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now to define my thoughts. My thoughts. I know what's coming now to define my. No one ever treated me like you do. Every word you're telling me, you feel so true. The promises. I feel my whole body burning when I see you getting dressed. It's getting so illusory, dying freezes. But now we're acting like fake enemies. I feel it in my heart. But now we're acting like fake enemies. I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now, coming out. In my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now to define my life. You tell me I get reckless sometimes. I try to keep the fire burning inside your heart. We don't need no sleep tonight. I'm here for you to confess. Don't be shy. Million colors in my brain. So much flavor on your lips. It's getting so illusory, dying freezes. But now we're acting like fake enemies. There's no how to friendship be. Your attitude is confusing me.
If we never ever give it a try, just do us this favor now. It will always be black and white, until it fades out. But I'm sure you could mess around, forget what the rules are. It will always be black and white, until it fades out. But I'm sure you could mess around, forget what the rules are. It will always be black and white, until it fades out. But I'm sure you could mess around, forget what the rules are. It will always be black and white, until it fades out. But I'm sure you could mess around.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Liv.
Tell me I get reckless sometimes. I try to keep the fire burning inside your heart. We don't need no sleep tonight. I'm here for you to confess. Don't be freeze us. And now we're acting like fake enemies. You tell me I get reckless sometimes. I try to keep the fire burning inside your heart. We don't need no sleep tonight. I'm here for you to confess. Don't be shy.
You got to get this one out by the summer. This is so good. You are so damn good. And I know you wanted more attention spent on the first like 45 seconds. I want to go back and listen to the very, very start of this thing.
My thoughts, I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now to define my thoughts. I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now to define my thoughts, my thoughts. I know what's coming now to define my. No one ever treated me like you do. Every word you're telling me, you feel so true. The promises. I feel my whole body burning when I see you getting dressed. It's getting so electric, I am freezes. But now we're acting like fake enemies. I feel it in my heart. And now we're acting like fake enemies. I feel it in my heart, fire's burning up. I know what's coming now, coming now.
Okay, I got to stop, or else I'm going to start listening to this like 6 times through and write you a book. All right, so for the guitar in this little surge, like more of a surge, and that last stab before the slight change, layer that like more from the stab too. I know all this is going to get bigger and louder, but those 2 moments I feel are like really good emotional kind of foreshadowing for what's about to come on or to come. 28 seconds, short time delay with feedback on that sword draw, like a super short, right? Like not quite comb filter, right? So not like super weird metallic-y, but kind of close. And put a little feedback boost on that, like swell as it's coming out, and then a volume automation down. So as that feedback starts to go up, it's actually coming down. You put the reverb on a separate channel, should kind of even out. 37 seconds when that super saw comes in. It'd be cool if there were just, instead of just the fairly predictable delivery of these notes, maybe just a couple little wiggles in the delivery. 54 seconds, a short suck back there to support that transition. I love that. Love that moment. Love all the glitchies around 105. I think the vocal work in this is really great, but the distortion especially is just so dang satisfying. Some really good moments. This this moment between 2:15 and 2:30 is just fantastic, and the way that you're carrying the momentum is awesome. Might want to challenge yourself and find like 2 spots where you can add like a whoosh or something like that in there just to kind of keep the momentum going. It could just be at the end of like an 8-bar stint or something, just to kind of push, right? Yeah, just like if you can just leave just a little bit of room for us to turn it up when you're done. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on a second. You're saying there's no guitar. Okay, so at 13 seconds, then it's probably like an FM right there. So that right there, I would probably, I'm not sure exactly what you're doing for the distortion on that, but toss it into guitar rig, and with whatever you're going to kind of embolden it with, just put a little bit of the hell is it called? Their convolution reverb. I've just completely spaced it. Anyway, Oh, it's a piano reverse that's getting distorted. Yeah, something that can give it a bunch of width as it comes out. That's what I would do. I would give it just a little bit of um like supercharger. Supercharger would be good because it's combining the compression and saturation in one unit that gives you kind of the control over the color profile too, right? It's got the warm and what is it? It's like fat, warm, and bright or something like that. Just go with the warm and crank up the saturation so you can get the width right or the body, and then widen that as it goes out. So like adding in just a little bit more um, reverb, or maybe even just introducing a small amount of delay so it kind of feedbacks on itself for that last split second or something. But I think it would be good. And then like do the hard cut at the end of that. I think you're going to get a similar result from that as you do from this big stab layer. And then again with this moment at 54 seconds where I'm saying add a short suck back. And then again at 2:30. I feel like you're getting these really awesome little pivot points. Yeah, you got replica. It's got diffusion. Do it. All right. This is awesome. uh, Iron M says lives to exist in that moment of periodic instability between gain stages starting to break. Yeah, it definitely has the summer vibes. Everybody likes this one. This is great. Dremia has discovered something. It's this lo-fi house thing and his vibe. Dremia says this one started with asking ChatGPT to help us write a song. It went terribly, but inspired this piece. Oh, yeah, you can have notes. All right, I got a couple of ideas here for you. Indremia, this is so good. I feel just as sure of this as I did after the first track. So you're very much onto something here. It's a very natural alignment, and I think you can do just a little bit of embellishment work and keep pretty much everything else the same, and then it's just kind of done. Um, 21 seconds in, some sparkly element layered would be lovely. Like maybe it's just some chimes, or maybe it's some kind of mallet thing that's been twisted up with a little like pitch delay thing or something. Something sparkly. 35 seconds in, some buzzy saturation on the bass, something that ebbs and flows in the mix over time. I think all of these things are things that are used kind of minimally, and they kind of appear and disappear at different rates. So things commingle kind of naturally in different states at different points in the timeline. 119, a small transition effect, just small white noise riser filtered, creamy reverb. And I would say, kind of similar to what I was saying in the feedback to cardio, which was just like, putting in a couple transition effects or whooshes or something like that at a point can help something feel like it's really moving along. Other times, if it's really relaxed and filtered like that, it can have more of like this dreamy, floaty kind of thing. So it can be kind of a quick little whoosh, but it could be put into this really long decay verb. So the swoosh is like a whoosh, but the resolve is like a whoosh kind of a thing, right? And when that's done at a really, really low volume, or when it's filtered so it's like super creamy, it can kind of be this almost like subliminal highlighting that's taking place, because as those little ripples of frequency kind of undulate through the mix, things happen, right? At 145, maybe play with a little delay spray at the point of transition. So everything is playing in normal, and then boom, right at that point, psh, little feedback boost and mix boost on the delay, just so you get that last little kiss. At 201 ish, a small suck back to help kind of rein in the focus right there, I think would be really, really cool. Transition effect at 3 minutes, 319. I think that this moment can have like some delay swirls. So what I mean is like you could automate your dry wet on a delay with a fairly high feedback, and you could do it for like leave it open for like a bar and then maybe close it for a bar, or maybe you keep it open for like a bar and a half and then you close it for a bar and then you open it for a bar and a half and then you close it, or something like that. So you start to get these kind of layers, and maybe they take several seconds to actually resolve, and because the timing is just a little bit irregular compared to the loops, then everything feels like it's kind of heady and swirly. Um, okay, lastly, I think the lead synth is great. Might want to add a small amount of dynamic change to the delivery over time, like really subtle vibrato that stands out here and there, or maybe detuning that just kind of eases in and out over great distances in the timeline. Really, really small things, right? You could even have one that introduces just a little bit more saturation, or maybe just a little bit more reverb on it or something, right? But just kind of over time, those things change just a little bit, and I think that it would make that journey even more kind of dreamlike, if you will. Um, yeah, Iron Imp says it well here too. Hey, Bako, how you doing? Iron Imp says, yeah, it's good. Doesn't need much. Maybe almost a slight global boost to the high frequencies, like at most a 3 dB shelf or a sliver of a main bus saturation. Um, uh, just there, brought us lift over 200 hertz on everything by a little nudge. You are welcome, Indromia. I hope this helps. I'll put this in here. Another world. Let's do this. All right, so Another World is here saying, first time I've used my analog synths in a beat. Moog DFAM for the hats and Arturia Polybrute for some of the FX and keys. This one's called Gold Link. Shot here. All right. I think the sub cutoff needs to be moved up to around 55 hertz on this one. Keep the curve really gentle though, like 12 dB per octave. I bring the sub volume down about 6 dB too. I know that sounds significant, but as soon as you bring that cutoff up a little bit, you're going to be hearing a bit more of the bass tonally in the mix. And if there is some problem actually hearing it audibly when you do bring down the volume, I'd add just a tiny touch of saturation to help create a little bit of harmonic information up top to allow it to be heard, because otherwise the other sounds in the mix are being impacted a bit too much by the impact of the sub. So that tom fill is awesome. If you cut some lows and boost some mids to help them ring a little bit more and compete less with the low end in general, I think it would really stand out. And also, on that note, it might be cool to grab a sample of some snares rattling and layer that in on like a volume ramp. As that tom fill comes up in volume, it rattles those snares just a little bit more on the drum kit. I think it'd be a really cool effect right there. And this super subtle texture that you've got lurking is really nice. It's good. It's good stuff. It's nice to have a break from the typical kind of vinyl noise people toss in there. Good, good. I'm glad it all makes sense and vibes with you, homie. I hope it helps you make it even better. Iron Imp says, not to do with this song specifically, but the DFAM responds very satisfyingly if you patch the trigger out back into the patch input. You get that 10V spike for almost no time, which nicely emphasizes the transients. Hey, nice little pro tip there. Electron, how you doing? Progu, hey, okay, hold on a second. Probably best handle of the day right there. Progu, that's great. iSpirit28, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. All right, so Baco's got one here. And then maybe I'll make some cartoon sounds. eventually I'm going to have the spelling memorized on this. I'm always second guessing the last few characters. This one's called Ducky Track Battle. Progu, yeah, we can do another one.
I just really no eyes on him. Yeah, call it a blind cover. Yeah, baby, can tell what you wanted, but I started to remember what I need from you. No, I'm trying to break my habits, not your rules. Yeah, baby, can tell what you wanted, but I started to remember what I need from you. I'm trying to break my habits, not your rules. I just really no eyes on him. Yeah, call it a blind cover. Yeah, baby, can tell what you wanted, but I started to remember what I need from you. No, I'm trying to break my habits, not your rules. Yeah, baby, can tell what you wanted, but I started to remember what I need from you. No, I'm trying to break my habits, not your rules.
All right, dude, this is different. This is cool. I think the drums in general kind of need a little bit more oomph to keep pace with the vocal presence that you've built up, which is pretty darn good. The bass is a little too dominant in general. Um, well, actually, let me back up to these drums really quick. Just a little bit of saturation, and then compression, and then a little bit more room verb, I think, is going to give you what you need there. The bass in general is too dominant. It's distracting from the vocals, and you might also want to play with some filter modulation to help carve out some more rhythmic interest in the delivery as well. So it would just change over time the way it's being delivered. And it could be a fairly randomly paced LFO. It doesn't have to be in sync, right? Um, like there's almost a feel like it wants like a little bit of like a talk-wah-ish almost kind of action to it, right? That's the kind of thing that I mean to add like a little bit of rhythmic delivery, right? So the bass line itself is still status quo. It's still doing what it's always done. It's just the way in which the audio is being treated before it reaches our ear holes is different. 150, I like the double time stick element. It brightens nicely. I would use the same idea elsewhere in the mix and just swap it out with the shaker so it helps cut through with the mix and still kind of gives you that backbeat swagger kind of thing. And I think the volume mix in general needs a little bit more dynamic change over time to help each of the individual sounds have good separation from each other. But I also think that there is a bit of like a need for like greater prioritization of sounds from one section to the next. There were a couple points where there were a couple of things that were kind of near the same volume level, and if you could make those a bit more distinct in their hierarchy, I think it would help you create more of an arc to this whole thing. Fun palette though, and some cool ideas. You make everything the same level, so nothing is important. Yeah, yeah. So that's it. Force that. Force that because the listener really kind of almost needs to know how you yourself would kind of prioritize these things, right? Because otherwise, they don't know which element is leading them and in what direction and what, right? So like when you take a couple of those elements and make them really subtle, the whole dynamic changes now because those are now kind of this kind of supportive or almost kind of accenting kind of element in the mix, where before they were kind of this lead kind of an element, right? And then just flipping that relationship on its head when a big change comes or something is a really fun way to change things up. Dude, Omibot, why are you talking so much? Progu, you bet. Oh, these vocals are just placeholder. Okay. So what I would do is I would try to aim for that same kind of presence and like production level of the vocals that you've got in here and try to bring everything else up to that standard before you toss in the new vocals. So it'll help you understand like how far you have to go get your vocals up to that point. Ice Spirit, go ahead. We'll do these last two. Oh, you already did. Great. Okay, so Progu, you're up. This one's called Crow. This is some pretty wicked art. This I feel like this is one of those fuzzy velvet posters that you draw with like your markers and you hang it up on your wall in junior high kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like I could reach out and touch that thing. Brilliant pace right here. Oh, this crow. It's great. All right, there's a lot here, so I'll paste this in as notes for you. This is an epic journey. Really, really awesome. I love all the composition. I love your palette that you're working with. It's just a few embellishments more than anything that I would recommend here. Um, at 35 seconds, I think the strings can have a bit more presence to kind of balance that bit. I think the flute can be a bit more out to the side and down just a touch. Um, Really nice aesthetic you're building upon initially. Guitar can use a small saturation highlight. I would target 7,000 hertz or so. I would add no drive to this. I would just pass the signal through some basic overdrive or a tube saturation or something. At 128, a low end boost on the cello will really help with the mood here, and then reverberate that, and then distort it after the reverberation. Um, so that's what I would do. That would really help kind of build that soup up. At 152, fantastic mashup of different um, instruments from different cultures here. At 210, I think the ambience should be up. And again, I think that this whole thing here helps with this. At 220, vocals can use a little compression to help bring details to the surface. Not too much though. You're like really, really close. 254, the kick here can use a delay, I think. Filter the echoes so you get like a really like a really super subtle heartbeat effect, so it can foreshadow the emotional bit coming up shortly thereafter. 323, super, super epic. 346, great work given the music proper pace to develop and all the feels really build back up nicely here. It's good. 418, I would add small cinematic transition effects in this section. This at this point, there's been an even bigger turn toward the cinematic, like screen drama kind of appeal. So I would start layering in some whooshes, swooshes, subtle noise risers, subtle impacts, and think screen. Think about how when you're listening to music, like in the theater, how the non-diegetic sounds that are being placed into the music start to have this massive emotional impact upon everything, right? These tiny little whoosh kind of things, those are surges. Those are basically like the audible version of goosebumps running over your skin. So if you're not sure that that thing that you just did musically is actually going to produce the goosebumps across the large majority of people's skin that's listening to it, then put in one of those effects, and that's going to do it because they're going to be, it's just going to tickle them all the way across, right? And I would just, as like a little sub statement here to this moment, I would say give this section just as much environmental consideration as the intro section has. It's got that kind of depth and pace thing. So, um, 512, another transition. This is a big leap, so I'd let the transition resonate with the emotional shift and leave us hanging in this valley floor moment with an additional bar of nothing before you start cooking again. So in other words, it just kind of right. So it's like it's got like a full 4 count, and it's just got that ether hanging over the top. At 648, I would continue to let it build. Maybe layer in some additional percussive elements and end with a timpani. At 8 minutes, start to layer additional drums here. I think that as it builds up in intensity, you let the taikos continue to lead, but you're going to add accents on the most driving notes possible. 825, move that crow sound around in the stereo field over time. It's watching us from above. And then just a few notes here, like these are just like some mental markers here. 848 transition, 858 impact, 907 transition to hit. It could even be a rise to transition to hit. 917 another impact. 926 some war drums could start here. Big accents, lower volume, right? So again, this is more of like a boom, 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 right? At 9:45, that really awesome operatic vocal element is getting buried. And then I think also that same element, when it comes back, it should surge even more at the end. And I can't remember, but if there's like a big whoosh, crashing cymbal there at the end too, or not, but I think there should be. Yeah, yeah, 2 steps from hell, absolutely. Let's see what the chat is saying. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I like the NI instruments as well. I know them. They're like a very known quantity, so you can get out of them what you need, which is always kind of nice. I'm gonna, oops, back, copy, put this in here for you. All right, last ones, guys. All right, Kai. Got a SoundCloud link here. Go hit it.
I don't have time for that shit. Like, I have a vision for this shit and I want to get it done, and that's just it. I don't have time to like dumb myself down for niggas if they don't really get it. It's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Move on to something else. There's other shit out there, go listen to that. So like, 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 so like,
It's great.
so like.
It's great. It's just great. Ah, stop. All right. It was great. I don't know that I'm going to change anything on this one. The ARP on the right, maybe a slow filter modulation on it, just so there's a little bit of change over time on that guy. This is really good. I found myself really enjoying this at all of the stages. I love how it starts. That's some good stuff. Love all the little crispy highs. Love this little bit crush element. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Very good. I recommend bringing more by. And also, for those that don't know or have straight up forgotten, our community challenge, we don't do it in the normal way or the way that we did for years previously. Now we have a queue on the Discord and you can participate at any point in time. And every single time you upload something, we will play it on stream and we will talk about it and say nice things. The way it works, you go to community challenges. There's two channels here. One is image prompts. You're going to go ahead and select an image here. I've uploaded tons. I will upload more soon. Just grab something that speaks to you, resonates with you, freaks you out, or inspires you, whatever. You download the image, you bring it over to your DAW, you make a beat, a song, an intro, whatever, and you go back into community uploads and you upload it here. You put the image and whatever you created with it there. Maybe somebody loves it. They grab it, they flip it, they add a beat, they add some vocals, whatever. Maybe you inspire them to do something similar with a different image, whatever. But it gets you out of a rut and back into the world of like inspired creativity. Just an idea. Something tells me you would probably like that challenge, Kai. Electron Play. You should try it out. Martin says, bro, I am behind on music so much. It's insane. Have you tried Logic? I jest. Hmm. You have to finish 9 songs. You are on the hook, sir. Ooh, Whiskey says, I released my challenge tune. Nice, dude. Yeah. Yeah. They are great for creativity. Finished 2 arrangements yesterday. Nice, dude. All right, let's go back and finish this feedback. We got one more, and then I think we're gonna make something. I'm not sure. We're gonna go to the SoundCloud for this one, and we'll turn it down a little bit because iSpirit says, "Warning, very loudness. Be careful with the volume." IDM producer. So let's see if that all measures up. All right, so this is great. The little flute at the end to peace out is just really great. This is good. Like, I don't know that I'm really gonna recommend changing anything. Like, I think it's great. I like the little false sense of security break there in the middle. Um, it's good. Martin says, I'm not usually a fan of this type of music, but the mix made me horny. Not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Danny says, I love that flute. Right? I know, right? That's good. That is good loudness, says Martin. Yeah, usually you would see a lot of people react with like laughs, and we would say stuff about noise and loudness levels and stuff. But this is great. Yeah, death to spiders. It's pretty awesome. It's good to see the support in the chat. What in the world? It's like 12:30 already, you guys. What in the world? I was gonna do some sound design stuff. Yeah, sound design. That's what I was thinking. Martin, some people are still being discovered, man. Martin's gonna pick up one of those flip signs and stand outside, you know, like wherever busy traffic is, and flip a sign with your SoundCloud handle on it, get you some traffic. Hmm. There you go. Mystery solved. Iron Ip is just standing outside the local grocer. Watch OhmLab on Twitch. Oh man. All right. Now, who remembers all of those cartoon sounds that I played like an hour or something ago? What was that? Like an hour and a half ago? Um Tremtize is here. I can see the future. This is about to join us. Cartoon sounds? Says Martin. Were there cartoon sounds? What can you smell, Martin? The teen spirit? It's probably teen spirit. All right, so speaking of native instrument sounds, what if we just go in? Yeah? Aren't we just talking about native sounds at some point? Queefadactyl. Now that okay, now I think we already handed out the Handle of the Day award, but that right there is pretty freaking great. That might. Hey, is there a way that we can take away an award and give it to someone else? Hey, Dave's here. Rip Boy in the chat. Hey, nice, Martin. Martin Metitude, who made music on the CD Projekt Red games. Nice. You gotta love the April Fool's memes. Native instrument sounds? Just saw the epic audio Imperia amazing, unbelievably ectic automaton plugin. What a meme. Cyberpunk. Nice. All right, so let's do some cartoon sounds. Do some cartoon sounds. Should we transform some kitchen sounds into cartoon sounds, maybe? Or some. Let's do some. Happens. I can't remember exactly all of the different sounds in here, but I do remember like some pans rattling and stuff. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Not hearing anything. One moment. But my volume is up. Let's see if we can. Yeah. All right, so I think what we might do is crank up the volume on this and toss on a MIDI effect or two and see what starts to happen. What if we go, what if we say we want a, start with a note repeater and crank this up to, say, maybe 30-second notes, and we'll repeat 2 times and transpose 2 steps each time. Velocity ramp that down. See what some of these things sound like. Weird that out a little bit. Ooh. Oh, right. I can't transpose on this because it's going to go up and down this key. Or maybe that would be cool. Let's see. Oh, that's actually kind of a cool way to layer sounds together. What if I put on 2 of these? What happens if I put on 2 note repeaters? Just bear with me here for a second. And what if we go up on this? Oh. Are we stumbling into something here? 64th dotted. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, hey. I think I've just kind of backdoored ourselves into a little cartoon funhouse here. All right, let's change our relationship. Oh, this is great. Ah. Oh, these are fantastic. It's a little too rhythmical. All right, let's take this one off of sync as well. Oh. Oh, I can't believe I haven't actually tried doing this specific thing before. But I kind of want to put a third one on here now. I'm going to take this one down in speed, down in repeats. Pardon me while I geek out for a moment here. And we're going to put another one in here. And let's say that this one is actually a modulator and that we're going to, this is going to be really weird. We will learn this parameter function, which is going to be tuning. You know. Plugin parameter can't be learned. Okay, so let's open this up and we'll do a different one. Let's do this knob in here. Go. Plugin parameter. We're going to change this tune knob here. Seriously? We can't do that either? Okay. What's going on here? Okay. We'll do it outside of kontakt then. We're going to put a pitch shifter. We'll set our mix 100% out. Start here. Say we're going to learn this parameter here. And now let's just offset this thing so it's only going up. So we see a 0 here. bring this output level down just. And now let's bring this rate way down. All right, now let's see what this sounds like. Hey, Far Horizon's here. Ooh. Hey, we've just kind of walked into something really kind of cool in here. I'm going to add just another thing in here because I can. And this is going to get a little weird, so bear with me. Put in a tape delay here. We're going to unsync this. We're going to bring this down to unreasonably small increments of time. We're going to crank up the feedback. We're going to make ourselves a cone. Some of these lows, some obnoxious highs. We'll put a flutter rate in here of some tape that we can actually hear. Okay, so we're going to take a second modulator now. This is starting to get really weird, but we're going to do it. We're going to take a second modulator. We're going to assign it to the delay time here, and we're going to put this on a random. I'm going to say we're going to learn this parameter right here. Get all freaking weird on me. And we're going to offset this. So we're going to bring this way down. Oh yeah, that's way too big. That way down. Don't want to start from 0. This is incredibly difficult. All right, we're going to rock this and see. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, this is how we end up with the awesome songs. Yes. All right, let's dial in our feedback here. Okay, that's probably. Hey, Iron Imp, you want to go steady? This is what I like to do. Is there anybody in the chat currently that has been with me in classrooms? There is this segment of the sound design curriculum that I've taught in a few different places where it's just dedicated to modulators modulating modulators and the importance thereof. Oh, calling whiskey. Ooh, what if we go up just a little bit in this offset value? It would probably bring in some really interesting tails. Ah, roll with some of those. Oh, yeah. Oh, these are fantastic. We've gone way off the deep end here. Now what if we put just like a basic delay over the top? A little micro pitch action in. Magic sounds. Oh, hey now. How many plugins can we stack on this thing? Let's find out. What else can we do? Oh, I would like to add that. Bit crush in here, please. Alright, and back in. We'll find it here in a second. Oh, that was ridiculous. Yo, Kwame, I'm just playing. We're taking kitchen sounds and we're mashing them up in a really unique way. We're triggering, we're using some MIDI effects plugins to trigger different sounds in here almost simultaneously. Let's get just a little bit less feedback on this. Now, what happens if we tune this whole thing down? Ooh, we're getting into some serious anime sounds here, you guys. Replica XT is a delay. Oof. Whoa. Okay, what if we go way up? Oh, pretty cool UI sounds. Ooh. Why have we deviated so much from productivity? I wonder. Let's take that out. We'll put in a brush and we'll say, wait, where was I? This one? That's where I was. Let's go up to 30-second notes here. Oh, it's starting to get really weird. What happens when we start playing with this up here? Sounds like someone's playing a comb. You quoting William S. Burroughs over here, Iron M? Yo, Eric. All right. We didn't exactly make cartoon sounds. But we built a new toy. Distort the hell out of it, Saf says. Let's do that. How about some feedback too, shall we? Some weird stuff coming out of here, you guys. Weird stuff. Damn kids these days. It doesn't even know what to do with itself anymore. Yeah, we could do ASMR streams. There's some there's so many fun things to get into that are incredibly minimal that people fall into. Absolutely. What if we were to take I'm gonna have to go back and kind of deconstruct what I've done here with the with our kitchen apparatus here. I have a couple of fun little ideas. Also kind of wondering if maybe what if because all of our modulation is happening outside of kontakt, right? Yeah, it is. So we could, in theory, then let's go into the factory library. Get rid of this guy. Nice, Paul. And Tremia says ASM, no thank you. Well, you know you're basically listening to an ASMR stream half the time with. Oh, maybe not. Let's try that again. What in the world? All right, let's try wood blocks. Because we can. Hey, Treptize, you're here. Ooh, sorry. It resets the volume each time, and I forgot that. Oh my god, that's freaky. There's your ASMR. Oh man, Trem, how you doing? Did you put something into the Discord? I saw you type in earlier. I thought maybe you were going. We're just playing. I should probably stop soon. What happens if I take off this and this for now? And what if we go into, what else can we get in here? Interesting. Hold on a second. Oh, this one won't work very well. Yeah, there's not enough keys. All right, well, I'm going to stick with some simple ones then. Oh, you know what else I have? I've got plugged in somewhere. There it is. All right, Let's see. Let's do. Ooh, ringing rock samples might be cool. Okay, that's a little spicy. Just gonna toss in this first ringing rock here. Let's take off this guy. You start dealing with like a comb filtery kind of process with just about anything, and it starts to get kind of musical. It's amazing. Freaking rock. You just saw me flexing on some ghost hack appearance, huh? Yeah, I still do a fair bit for them. I think I write all of the descriptions for all their products still. I still kick sounds down into Rick's productions here and there. I haven't built a library for them in a couple of years, though. Yeah, Andy, humans are weird, aren't we? Saf, you take care, homie. Thanks for hanging out and tolerating all of my weirdness. Speaking of having to tolerate my weirdness, we should go raid someone. Hmm. Ooh, Iron Imp is upping our IQ here. Let's go in to the Twitch and see who's streaming today. All right. Who's up? Who's up? Shoes, E-Town, Tiger, Zap Anderson. Who's Zap Anderson? Sure. I know. All right. Who else has got people that are streaming right now that we can go raid? Because these are more looking like I like radio option. I want something a bit more creative. Who else is up right now? WX. Let's go see. Let's do that. We'll go find someone new. I may or may not be able to do the Wednesday stream. We'll see how my productivity fares over the next couple of days. I probably will not be having a Friday feedback stream this week due to going camping and stuff. So the chances of Wednesday having feedback in it is pretty high if we're here. So, might want to prep something for that in case it happens. Until then, let's go see what WMRX is all about together, and I will see you guys on the flip. Appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Bye.